are here and you're participating, you understand that this is a live recording and that we will use it and put it out publicly and distribute it so that anyone that's here gives their consent that it's recorded and that we can use it. First, we're going to hear a little bit from UHeights about the history of the program and how we got started. Then U Temple's going to come in and talk about their interest. And then we're also going to have Urban League come in, and they're going to be the ones that are really administering the program. We'll have a lot of, they can answer your questions and talk about what it'll look like. All right, that's it for me. So let's see, I'm going to stop presenting. And Maureen, you can take it away.
All right, thank you so much, Mason. I'm Maureen Ewing. For those I haven't met, I'm the Executive Director at the University Heights Center, and I thank you all for joining us tonight. I know all of us are contending with very different things, and we just got the announcement that the stay-at-home order is going to be extended to May 4th. And so we are very honored to be partnering with U Temple and Urban League on this important project. And we're happy. We have about 40 people on the call that you're joining us to learn more about it. The Urban League has been really successful in managing these types of programs for decades. We're very fortunate to have their help. All of the partners thought that we couldn't delay opening this program any longer. The need is only going to increase with the effects of COVID. And as most of us know, at the end of 2015, the city of Seattle declared an emergency due to our rapidly increasing homelessness problem. And as we've seen with COVID, when there's an emergency, we all need to be a part of it. We need to be a part of the solution, and we all need to respond. And so this Safe Lot program is an effort, excuse me, for UHeights to do what we can to be a part of that. And our strength in the community, we've been in the U District since 1902. We've been a community anchor for a variety of different programs. And our vision is to be a place for all. And we really can't do that when we're seeing our neighbors suffering and not even getting their basic needs met. And so even though this is a small program and it's a pilot program, and we're proposing to serve people living in 5 vehicles, it's a really good start because it's a best practice and proven program all along the West Coast. There are safe lots that exist in very urban areas that support people living in their cars. And I think what is important to note is that you may hear my 4-year-old sitting like a gang of elephants upstairs. So I apologize for that. Is that this isn't just allowing people to live in their cars, and it's important that they're in a safe spot overnight, but they have access to case management through Urban League, and we're going to hear a lot more details about that, and that this is a pathway to housing. We're providing hygiene services, and our community is going to provide wraparound services to make sure that our folks who are struggling right now get what they need. The last 2 point-in-time counts, which is the report that details the statistics around homelessness, showed that somewhere between 2,100 and 3,400 people are living in their cars in King County. And we know that that's probably an underrepresentation of the true numbers. And so we know that this is an issue. This would be the 3rd program in the Safe Lot in Seattle. And we hope that it's the first of many. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Pastor Pat Weber, who represents U Temple Methodist Church, who will be sponsoring the lot. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reverend Pat Simpson, and it looks like you're still looking at Maureen. Am I good here?
Yeah, Pat, everyone sees you. It's just your screen still looks like Maureen.
Okay, I've got some time lag. Thank you. I'm Pat Simpson. I'm a pastor of University Temple United Methodist Church on Northeast 43rd between the Ave and 15th. This congregation has been doing human services work in its building for 50 years, starting with daycare. We've had shelter for young adults for 20 years, which is now Roots. And there are a lot of other things going on in the building. There's not an extra square foot where we could fit anybody in. But we care a lot about the long-running emergency of homelessness. And when University Heights inquired about whether we'd like to be the religious institution sponsor for this effort, we were glad to do it. As a matter of fact, for us, because our worn out old building is coming down for redevelopment next year, this gives us a chance during the time we won't have a building of our own to be part of this community-wide effort. And we hope that others will join in the support we'd be providing, which is pretty simple. We're the institutional sponsor. That's a formality, but also we're planning to offer some kind of social event for people who are staying in their cars at UHeights when that is allowed again, keyed to whatever people are actually there at the time, about once a month. So that's our part. The day-to-day stuff is going to be University Heights folks and Urban League. So I think it's their turn.
So Linda, do you want to give an introduction?
Oh, sure. My name is Linda Taylor, and I'm the Vice President of Housing and Financial Empowerment. So this is really something we are looking forward to partnering with UHeights doing, and we've worked hard at it. And I believe our president and CEO, Michelle Merriweather, is on the line. Could someone unmute her so she could give a welcome? Michelle? Maybe she isn't anymore.
If she called in on her phone, we're not actually sure how to unmute people on their phones. She may want to call back in and talk.
It's here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Mason,
Yeah.
it
She
says
might have-
that
There she is.
this is Beth. If you hit *6, someone can be unmuted.
Mason, I just heard Michelle. I think she's there.
Miss Merriweather, there she is. No, very not well.
It's very faint. We can only barely hear you.
Hopefully it'll pick up in a second. I don't want to get too close. Is it better?
Little bit, but not much. Miss Merriweather is very happy to join in this effort. She works all day at it. She's on several boards, several conference calls all day, and keeps us all up to date on everything. So she's very, very pleased to get this parking lot open and our partnership. Is that about good?
That's wonderful.
Okay, we're glad you're here. Now, I want to introduce the day-to-day people, the people that really do the work, the people that are out there every day, and that's Helen Gaines, and the manager of the program is Kiana Taeski. So which one of you want to go into depth first? How about Kiana to give us an overview, and Helen give us some day-to-day, what a typical day would look like. Kiana? Okay. Helen?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear Helen, I believe. Oh, Kiana? Okay.
Yeah, this is Kiana.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Mhm.
So we're doing the safe parking program. We've been doing it at our Redeemer's Church. We've been doing that for a little over a year, and it's been successful because we've been able to put people into housing. What we try to do is try to best fit their needs on what they need. Like as far as like if they have barriers, we try to fix those barriers so they can move forward into housing. It's just a basic need thing that most people, are in need of. So they're sleeping in their car, they're homeless, but we actually help them through that. If they need a job, can you hear me? I hear somebody's feedback. Sorry. So whatever they need. So if they need a job, we help them with that. If they just need something paid off, that they like eviction debt or something, we help them with that, and then they're able to move forward. So that's basically what it is.
And Kiana, the average stay at the Safe Lot is for a family or individual?
Usually it's within two weeks to a month. We try to get them moving forward.
Okay, and what are some of the barriers that you've seen?
I've seen eviction debt, bills that they have on their credit that they're not able to move forward. They don't have enough money to pay the moving costs. So we also help with that.
And
yeah,
the cars must be running.
Yes.
So if the car is not running, we help with that also, within reason.
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions, or would you like to hear from Helen how the people come to us and how the people move forward? Helen? Go ahead, Helen.
Hi, I'm Helen. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So the day-to-day process of entering someone into the Safe Lot, they would come in and typically fill out our housing intake form. We'll process that, get information, get watch reports. We do
What's the watch report, Helen?
the watch report. That is something we run to make sure that they don't have anything that is hindering them from getting in, as far as like sexual assaults, anything that has to do with children, things like that we look at in the watch report. Once they are cleared of the watch report, we then go over a code of conduct. We make sure that they understand that, they sign it, and then I take them down to meet with one of the churches. From there, they do a little assessment on getting them in, take a tour, show them the spot where they'll be parking at, and then we will then assist them with whatever barrier that they have. I had a client that was in there, he's working. The only barrier that he had was just finding a place. He didn't have any evictions. He just didn't have enough money to get in. We were able to assist him with that. He was there for maybe 2 weeks before he was able to find a place and get assistance with moving in. Now he's in and he is still employed. And I still have contact with him from day to day just to check and make sure that he's still on the right path.
Okay, a watch report is a background check from the Washington State Patrol. So that's what we run. The Washington State Patrol is the official keeper of backgrounds within Washington State. Does anyone have any questions? Or Mason, can you show the map where the cars will be parked? We ready for that? Okay, so there are 5 spots that are dedicated to UHeights, and there they are. We generally leave a spot in between each car so people have space. And these days, you know, we need a little more space just so they can have a little privacy. We have a what some people are calling a comfort station going in. And can you see where that'll be? And that's basically, it's a tiny home. So it'll be somewhere where there'll be maybe a microwave in there, a small refrigerator, and some electricity in there, just so a person can perhaps heat up a muffin, or there you go, or heat up something to put in there. And there'll also be a porta potty out there. Now, UHeights is unique, so people can go in there between certain hours inside. And we actually have a request in to put a shower in also, and washer and dryer. Or do we already have the shower, Maureen?
So the washer and dryer we're going to be putting in shortly. And we're going to work with the YMCA. I was just on the phone with their new executive director this morning. Provides months of free memberships for all the participants, and they're less than a half a block away.
Right. Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you. We have so many of these going at the same time. It's just hard to keep track of what's going on where. But Maureen is on it. She's the best partner.
So we just got a question from Katie. She asked, will you be monitoring the use of the porta potty shower, and will it be reserved for members of the safe lot only?
Correct. There'll be a lock on it, and generally, does OLG, Our Lady of Guadalupe, have a lock on there that they each have a code, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so that'll end on the tiny home also, the comfort station, I'm sorry. So they'll have a code on there. So they'll be issued a code, so they only will be able to use it.
And I'd like to add, in addition to the lock, we have security cameras and emergency lighting in the area where our residents will be parking.
Oh, wonderful. Was there another question?
We don't have any questions right now via chat anymore, but if maybe someone over the phone would like to ask a question, because I know they can't use the chat function, I think the way you turn off mute, because we've muted everyone by default, is by pressing *6, is what someone said.
Marino, Molly has a question. How do
I have a question. Can you hear me? This is Bill.
We can hear you, Bill.
My question was just back to Helen and Kiana. I don't think you covered, and it can be brief, how you get people referred to you. Thanks.
We usually get a lot of walk-ins. They would walk into the office stating that they're homeless, they're sleeping in their vehicle. Once we hear that, I typically refer them or mention to them about the Safe Lot program that we have.
And that was Bill, one of our new partners that we are going to partner with, and certainly we will take referrals from you. He does a program, SCAFLA, and when he has a client that is a fit, we will put them in.
Yes, thanks for working all that out.
Okay, good.
I'd also like to add from the UHeights side that we have a lot of local partners in the U District, like the Elizabeth Gregory Home or Sanctuary Arts Center, some of these other groups that work with similar populations. And we've also asked them to refer to the Urban League if there are people they know in the area that want to be in the U District and need a safe place to park.
And we have overwhelming support from our partners, the U District Food Bank, U District Partnership, Roots Youth Shelter, and they're all aware of this program and ready to provide support as needed.
We've also had referrals from parking enforcement. Jen, that she's in Ballard, she does a lot of the referrals that we get as well.
Thank you. Katie from UDP is asking about, will there be trash collection services, or are there public trash cans nearby? they're thinking about cleaning and beautification services they will need. Well, UHeights is going to be handling all the utilities, trash and electricity and those types of things. But if UDP would like to support us with beautification services, we're all ears. We could use some flower baskets. Let's see. Korean O'Malley, are there spots available now or a waiting list? That's a question for Urban League.
Yes, there's spots available.
We got a question from Paige, I believe, over at the Seattle Public Library in the U District. She asked about intake, but primarily she was interested to know if there was going to be an online form available that she could direct people to. I suspect an online form through the Urban League.
We do have our housing intake form that is online on our website that they can fill out and either fax or email it back to me. Or Kiana.
We prefer email because our fax machine has not been working well, so we would prefer email. And we are working on a process that they could just fill it out online, but they do have to go through the process of the background check and come in and meet and go over the code of conduct as well.
We got another question in the chat, but I also wanted to open this up. Is there anyone on the phone that would like to ask a question? I know it's a little harder to interact with us as we're all on video chat together.
Yes, this is Virginia. I may have missed it, but have you projected a start date for this program, or is this a wait and see situation?
We're ready to open. We've been talking about this program since last August. We did a community forum then that was with support from the neighborhood, and we've been doing a lot of work on the MOU and the ins and outs of all the details, so we're ready to start serving people now. Urban League, do you concur?
Yes, we do.
Part of the process was to have a community forum like this so that people would have an opportunity to ask these questions. And you know, once we've had this and talked to everybody, we can hopefully push the process along quickly. We got another question from Aaron Rance asking, are staff going to be on site, or will they come in, or will they come to the site as needed?
Usually come to the site as needed. We're not on site, but I typically check in with them maybe 3 to 4 days a week. I usually handle it that way.
And so Kiana's talking specifically about the case management, which is the most critical part of this program, but you should note that UHeights is on staff an average of 14 hours a day, so we will be there, you know, providing support and being in touch with Urban League as needed. Dave?
Great. Let's see. The next question is from Matt, and they asked, do vehicles need to leave during the day, or do vehicles remain parked for days at a time with trash pickup, restrooms, and showers and laundry? Perhaps it's fine to remain parked.
So it's an overnight lot. We can be a little bit more flexible. So UHeights is very busy during the week with our 12 resident orgs. So they'll be allowed to park from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then after farmers market ends, they'll be allowed to enter the space again and stay all through Sunday through Monday morning. And that's our first proposal for the schedule. Of course, during COVID crisis, we'll have a lot more flexibility and they'll be able to stay 24/7.
We got a question from Becca, and they ask, do all members of the family have to do that first meeting, or can one member do it? And that's probably for Urban League.
We prefer that we meet everybody in the family, because we want to know everybody so we can be familiar with everybody's faces.
Great. I'm going to open it up to the phones again real quick. If anybody is on the phone and would like to ask a quick question, go ahead.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. Hi, everybody. Sorry I was running late. This is Graham. I'm sorry if I missed this, so if you did, you could just cover quickly. But are you going to be focusing on particular subpopulations? Is it or is this more of like a sort of open-ended, anyone can be in? And if there is a subpopulation, what would that be? That's sort of my first question about subpopulations. And my second question is there a time limit or some sort of goal of moving people out of the program where, if like a person, has to, move into housing within a certain number of days or something like that?
Well, each family will be a case by case situation, because everybody has different barriers that we have to deal with. And our goal is to move them out as fast as possible. But some people have different barriers, so we don't really have an actual time frame, but we try to do it as fast as possible.
Great. So there's no like hard and fast 90 days or something like that?
It's not, but we usually are able to get them through.
Right. No, I understand. That's a good answer. I'm happy to hear that.
Kiana has coined the phrase, this is a road to housing, not a road to parking. So our goal is to move people out.
Okay. And what about focusing on the subpopulations?
It's pretty much first come, first serve. Or is this a family lot or a? Okay.
We're open. Because we're open, particularly because we know there's homeless students in the neighborhood,
right?
Working adults and families.
So there's only room for 5. So it's
okay, but it sounds like there's not a particular subpopulation that you will be limiting it to, and nor is there necessarily a hard and fast time limit. Though of course everybody's going to be the goal is for everybody to be moving into housing.
That's correct.
Great, thank you.
And then also, Bill is asking about populations in some ways, about whether RVs are allowed. And in this particular lot, no RVs are going to be.
RVs, right. RVs are considered homes, and we're not setting up home there. We're setting up parking, car parking. Although vans are acceptable, isn't that true, ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got another question from Becca, and they asked, is this a safe space for queer folks, people of color, and undocumented folks? Does this code of conduct explicitly mention hate speech against, or hate speech and actions against these folks?
I'll have to read it again to make sure. I don't think it's specific. It covers all the fair housing laws, and they're covered under fair housing, all of those subpopulations. Did that answer?
It doesn't really specify that directly, but we do have a hard, so we have hard rules on our code of conduct. There's no drinking, no being a bully to anybody, no, making people feel uncomfortable. That'll make you won't be able to stay if you don't follow those rules.
This is Bill. I think, isn't this covered by Seattle funding, which would put it under Master Agency Services Agreement, which has all of those conditions in it already?
No, it's not. No, it's not, Bill.
No city funding?
Yeah, there is, but it doesn't read that way. It reads a little different.
Okay.
The next question is from Tom Yellen, and they ask, can the program start and operate even under the shelter-in-place order, which has been extended to May 4?
The answer is yes.
Okay, the next question is, I believe, from Phoenix. Are you limited by the city law to 5 spaces, or is it merely limited by availability of current space? Phoenix is with Three Dragons Academy, and they're one of the tenants here at University Heights Center, and they're willing to donate 2 of their parking spaces as needed. Thank you, Phoenix.
We're pretty much limited by oh gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? Capacity. And that's the capacity of our caseworkers to work with clients.
And from UHeights' part, Maureen, correct me if I'm wrong, we are certainly open to having more spaces in the future. This is more of a way just to see how this whole situation happens in the safe parking lot here. And should it go well, we're very open to opening up more space as well. And we certainly appreciate your willingness to donate spaces, Phoenix. Thank you.
Really, thank you very, very much. They just would not have, our funding doesn't cover any more right now than a 5 spaces at this moment.
And this program through the city is a pilot, and it's based on the New Beginnings program in Santa Barbara, and their model is to have more smaller lots that serve 5 to 10 cars per lot versus crowding in 30 to 50 cars. We've seen work in other places like LA, but the model that we're testing out now are more smaller cars. And because this is a pilot, we're starting out with just a few programs, and then I assume there'll be more funding allocated.
One question we missed a while ago was from Karina, and they wanted to know if there is a specific number that people should call if they're interested in joining the Safe Lot program.
Certainly, that's the Urban League at 206-461-3792, and push 0 and ask for Helen.
And we'll oh, there you go. Mason already put it in the chat. I want to give a shout out to Karina, because she manages a really large program on the east side and has done really well serving families who are living in their cars. So Karina, thank you for all that you're doing.
We've got one more question from Graham in the chat, and then we'll open it up to the phones again. Graham asked, how many case managers will be working on this program?
On this lot, only 1.
Okay, that's it for questions in the chat right now. Do we have any other questions from people that are on the phone or anything like that?
Mason, this is Councilmember Alex Peterson. Just wanted to thank everybody for joining the call, and UHeights for hosting this community outreach.
Well, thank you, Member Peterson, for taking the time to participate. And your staff has been very helpful as we get this program launched.
Great. We'll continue to do community outreach and stay in close contact with you. And, as thanks for mentioning that it is a a pilot program. So it was really great to hear the focus on getting folks who are experiencing homelessness into housing by working on their individual needs and using the San Diego best practice model. That's really great to hear, and appreciate your having on your website, the UHeights website, a safe lot question and answers section for people in the community to see what's going on if they were unable to join this call or the event you had last August. And so if people in the community do have questions, you know, if they call my office, I'm assuming I would send them to Maureen and Mason at UHeights for questions just from the general public. Is that right? Or would it be to the Urban League?
We actually have a specific email for the UHeights lot if anyone has questions, which is info@uheightscenter.org. Let me double check that, and then we'll put it in the chat. Info safelot, or is it safe? It's either safelot info or info safelot that you would write to.
Great.
Yeah, it's it's safelotinfo@uheightscenter.org, and we're also going to put this up as a recording on the web, and we will answer any other questions people have. We'll kind of open it up on our Facebook page if people have additional questions or they were unable to make it here tonight. And we appreciate your support, Councilman Peterson. Thank you so much.
I just to be transparent, I'm really just trying to be neutral about it and to get the information out there and to be supportive and, you know, helping you get the information out to other folks. And, you know, to the extent you need any assistance with the Human Services Department, I'm happy to help. I did have one question. Are you using the Homelessness Management Information System, HMIS? Is the Urban League using HMIS?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, we must. That's part of our billing process.
Okay, terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman.
Mason, this is Bill. I have some information that pertains to the startup of the program, but also the Our Redeemer program. Right now, Seattle's Mayor Durkin has put forth a change in parking policy on the streets. They're no longer booting vehicles. They're no longer impounding. They're no longer giving tickets if you stay in one spot more than 72 hours. Actually, I think you're probably not going to get a ticket no matter how you're parked, unless you're parked in front of a driveway, a hydrant, or something like that. So that would be good information for the current residents at Our Redeemer when they leave the lot, and for anyone who will leave UHeights. This is sort of an indefinite order, and I think it has to do with not flooding the court with possibly infected people and also putting parking enforcement officers at risk. So it's for all residents of the city, or actually for anybody parking in the city, but it has particular pertinence to those who live in their vehicles and will alleviate, we hope, any ticketing or problems of that sort.
Thank you for that, Bill. And we really appreciate all the support you've given us as well during these times. And yeah, it's really great. Thanks for your support of the program.
I just want to add something too here. This is Graham. Just so you know, we're working with the city as well. I don't want to say too much about it, but on a proposal to do a very expansive response to vehicle residency to address the actual number of people that are on the street, the roughly 2,000 people that are living in their vehicles in Seattle, the half of people who are on the streets. So in addition to this, I think that I would love to include you in that conversation as that moves forward, because the work you're doing is a great example of that, and just wanted to put that out there. So happy to keep you in that as that progresses.
The Urban League would love to be included in that conversation because we know that the case management works. That's one thing we're real clear of. Oftentimes people park in their cars And then we're able to, just so they can wait to get in a spot at the tiny homes. They're just a little safer there. And then once they do that, we're able to get them into housing. Oftentimes, people have jobs. A lot of people, well, wait a minute, that's before the virus. Let me take that back. A lot of people were employed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and I was an outreach provider for years, so I agree completely. And in fact, I think was happy to talk earlier at the stages of this program about connecting you all together, because
thank you so much.
Well, it's because you're exactly right that many people who are living in the vehicles don't see themselves as homeless. They're very often very easy to house, often have jobs, and are very connected within their community, and are really just sort of a hand up away from getting back on their feet.
Exactly.
And so,
I like that. A hand up. I like that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Graham. We really appreciate your support as well. You've been great in giving us a lot of really good information. We are out of questions in the chat, and we don't have any on the phone either. Maureen, is there anything you want to add, or Pat, or anybody?
I just like to thank the U Temple and Urban League for working through all the idiosyncrasies of getting us started in the district. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. It's an important program even more. Now, I also want to thank a lot of our mentors on the line, and Graham, Christine, Scott. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but when we were getting involved with this, we didn't make the decision lightly. We talked to a dozen service providers and people who are doing the really hard work on the streets, and they impressed upon us the importance of they're an integral part of the service delivery programs throughout the city. And so, Pat, do you want to take us out? Do you have any last parting words?
I just say we're eager to get going. We're proud to be a part of this partnership, and I hope it grows over time.
Thank you very, very much. We're looking forward to it also. Again, kudos to all of you for just working through this. It's been a process. It's been a process of putting us all together. So thank you so much. And a big thank you to our president and CEO, Michelle Merriweather, that always gives us the latitude and the longitude just to work forward and to come up with creative things that we can do to help the community.
I'd also like to give a big thank you from UHeights to the UW nursing program. They provided us with 2 different sets of interns over the last 6 months that have been great at helping us do research and outreach and talk about things that we need to be thinking about as we get this program started. So a big thank you to the UW nursing program and the students that worked so hard for us. Thank you.
Okay, if we don't have any other questions, I think we can say goodnight. And like Mason mentioned, we have a specific email if you have further questions, and we're all open to your feedback as we get started.
Correct. And there's a frequently asked questions part of our website that has the email as well. It's so yeah, please visit that. All right. Well, I guess we'll close out now. Thank you all. And if you have any other questions, please contact us. And I appreciate everyone coming and showing your support. Have a good evening. Stay safe.
Thanks again. Have a great night.
Stay healthy.
Good night. And thank you, Mason, for putting this together. This is great.
And thanks to the other people on my team, Jaron and Shireen, for helping me manage it.
Wash your hands. Physically distance. Don't socially distance.
Wash your hands.
Thanks a lot, Graham. This is Thomas. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.